So a few months ago, there was talk about the cost of weight loss drugs like Ozempic. Biden was proposing that these medications be covered under our free healthcare system, which would mean someone's got to pay for it. So it's the taxpayers. And people were saying that you can bankrupt our healthcare system. Interestingly, Biden was proposing this just before leaving office. I don't know what the point was. When this was going on, I almost missed something. I had a moment of clarity when my mind was blank, and I thought, so the cost of these medications is really high, and yes, it is. It costs a person about $1,000 a month. And a flag went off in my mind. I said, wait a second. Not only is the United States more fat than ever, which means they're eating more than ever, they're also paying for expensive weight loss medication. Wait a second. People are paying for these medications because they are paying for excess food while they're complaining about inflation and the price of eggs.
The price of, eggs.
The price of 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 eggs. There are not enough chips in the bag.
I eat a lot of meat and a lot of eggs, and I'm paying twice what I paid 4 years ago.
Well, maybe that wasn't the real reason why they voted out the Democrats. But this isn't a political video. So as a health enthusiast and YouTube teacher, I'm against adding these medications to free healthcare because, well, there's so much. Do these things actually work? And how do they work? Cutting appetite? That's not the way I teach weight loss, because that doesn't work. Trying to undereat by suppressing your appetite is kind of like keeping up a drug habit where you have to keep it up. You can't just skip a week. The drugs make you need them. Not only is this, of course, costly, this is all unnecessary. People need to be eating right, or they can just fuck off. Don't expect us to pay for your bad habits, especially me, who eats a high-produce, low-fat diet. I've been trying to teach people how to eat healthy. If you don't want to do it, then you're choosing to suffer, continue to be fat and unhealthy, and then die. Don't expect anyone to save you and bankrupt America. But I don't blame Biden for not understanding any of this stuff. Most people don't understand. There's still experts out there teaching that obesity is not the patient's fault. And about a minute back or so, you may have heard me say something that you say, wait a second. That was when I said the United States is more fat than ever. Some people would be surprised at that. Americans might say, I thought that was fixed because they found out what causes people to get fat. And now, a huge portion of Americans is on the keto diet, or at least low fat. They say ketosis is just fat burning mode. Well, check it out. Look at this chart. You might be able to tell by the sarcasm in my voice that I knew from the beginning that keto isn't just some miracle thing. And carbs don't make you fat. It's just another diet the way other diets work. They don't work. You can't stay on them, and your body will then put back all the fat and a little more. And I know why that happens too, because I actually understand fat storage. And these diets and these weight loss drugs don't address the cause. And if you looked at a map of the fattest states, I could already guess that it would look like an election map. The fattest states being the red states, the Trumpy, MAGA, selfish, gluttonous states. Georgia's on my mind.
Do your eggs cost $12 too? Mine too. This is some.
The cost of a gallon of milk or a dozen eggs.
Eggs are complete protein that used to be affordable on almost any budget, and Americans love eggs. In 2020, the Egg Farmers of America said that each American ate 286 eggs that year, which is incredible.
We bring a chicken coop with 2 to 4 egg-laying hens to someone's backyard. 2 hens lay about a dozen eggs a week, and 4 hens lay about 2 dozen eggs a week.
So, people are getting fatter while complaining about inflation. And I never thought of it that way in these past 3 years. No one else did either. That would have been a good one. And the people who use inflation as an excuse for voting against the Democrats, I always knew this was bullshit because the Democrats didn't cause the inflation.
To say that the economy is good when people still think the price of eggs is too damn high is not a winning message.
Kamala Harris's policies. I mean, look, yes, buddy. You want some eggs? Yeah. Let's talk about eggs, because these guys actually eat about 14 eggs every single morning. Is that right? Yeah. Oh, whoa. We'll be careful about this. Eggs, when Kamala Harris took office, were short of $1.50 a dozen. Now a dozen eggs will cost you around $4 thanks to Kamala Harris's inflationary policies.
As the camera zoomed in on him, something in the background caught the attention of sharp-eyed viewers. Right there on the shelves behind Vance were cartons of eggs priced at $2.99.
Just real quick, you mentioned the inflation executive order the president signed, but egg prices have skyrocketed since President Trump took office. So what specifically is he doing to lower those costs for Americans?
Really glad you brought this up, because there is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration. As far as the egg shortage, what's also contributing to that is that the Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage.
Avian flu forcing farmers to euthanize millions of egg-laying hens to stop the spread, leading to less supply and higher prices.
Our eggs are 160% higher.
In November, a dozen eggs cost approximately $4 at a grocery store in New York. Now, that same dozen eggs cost $6.
This Seattle cafe now on high alert after this surveillance video shows robbers breaking in and stealing more than 500 of the breakfast staple.
Some consumers are turning to a novel idea: rent the chicken.
These crates here, which are usually filled with baby chicks, are completely empty as more Arizonans start their own flocks.
Americans scrambling from store to store on an egg hunt as prices soar.
30 eggs for $30?
On average, a dozen large eggs now surging to more than $7. And that's if you can even find them. Many shoppers discovering empty shelves.
They don't even have eggs.
President Trump made a promise to Americans to bring down the price of eggs, and he intends to keep it. He just ordered a 25% tariff on all chickens. Make no mistake, Trump will put the squeeze on these fowl.
We have something called the chicken tax. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? The chicken tax. It's a tariff of 25%.
Guess what, poultry? The squeeze is on. To teach these dumb cluckers a lesson, President Trump will never stop choking the chicken.
I'm Donald Trump, and I choke the chicken.
And in Pennsylvania, state police are looking to crack the case of the theft of 100,000 eggs from a distribution truck worth $40,000.
The Democrats didn't cause the inflation. And so I figured these people are just using that and covering up the real reason they're voting for Trump. Yep, it's always come down to racism. No one wants to admit that they're racist. A lot of people don't want to admit that this country is still racist, but it has nothing to do with this country. Human beings are inherently racist. I made a video about this. Always will be. It's natural. And humans are not evolving. So we're not going to evolve out of that. And for people who say they can't afford eggs, well, here you go. Stop eating eggs. That reminds me. I made a Reddit post. I got myself deleted for posting my egg video, which was meant to be a video to turn you off of eggs. They didn't like that. You see, people don't want a solution, the real solution. They want a medication to do it for them. Americans are buying too much food, more than they need, and then they're complaining about the cost while buying weight loss drugs to try to get rid of the fat that they are gaining while overeating while complaining about the cost. How come no one ever realized this? Where were all the comedians on this one?